Welcome to Contemporary Black Voices, where we take on the most pressing issues affecting Black America. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell. My co hosts today are international affairs enthusiast Caleb Alexander and community activist and entrepreneur Chris Dawkins. Our main topic is AI and the Black community. Artificial intelligence, or AI, has gained a lot of traction in the news cycle, organizational strategic planning, and just the day-to-day conversations. Within those conversations is often the sad reality of what is known as machine bias, whereby software used across the country predicts future criminals. However, within the Black community, AI algorithms created often are against Blacks. AI has been used to assign risk assessment scores to defendants, whereby decisions are being made as to who gets to be free or the bond amounts to be assigned. Collectively, these measures are contributing to unjust disparities in the criminal justice system. And this is just within the criminal justice system. AI usage is everywhere, and Blacks are at greater risk of being misjudged based on systemic biases in the algorithms. Now, we have a lot to talk about today, but before we get started, please tap on the subscribe button to be able to get notices of upcoming shows, as well as hit the like button, as well as share this and other shows with your friends. So, we're going to start this conversation. Ready?
Ready.
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 So, I talked about AI as a risk within the criminal justice system. From your backgrounds, professional backgrounds, how do you see AI as a risk to Black folks? Chris?
How about that, Chris?
Chris.
Go ahead, that Chris.
Me, Chris. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris. So, no. Again, so like you touched on in the beginning, AI being used to as a for risk assessment to score Black folks and to judge whether they're worthy of parole, probation. It determines their sentencing, and so it's just, a lot of the bias comes from really it's the questions that are being fed into AI. You know what I mean? What just to give an example, one of the questions is prior to this, have you had interaction with law enforcement, right? But it's not taking into account the over policing in the African American community, where of course we are at a greater risk of interaction with the police. Or it asks questions like, are you from a single parent household? Over 65% of Black folks are raised in single parent household, whereas only 32% of white people. So you have, it's just inherent bias within the system that determines your level of recidivism, right? And so that bias is proven over and over again to be detrimental to Black folks. And it's also proven that these AI systems get it wrong most of the time. They'll score an African-American woman this is her first offense, to be at a higher or greater risk of recidivism than a white male who's had multiple interactions and been to jail multiple times, had multiple convictions. And so it is inherently biased in that system. And so that's one aspect of it. So
I just wanted to ask a question, and hopefully for us, and you may not know the answer, but also for our viewers, when we talk about this bias in the AI, where or who do you contact to be able to try to get this information corrected?
That's tough because
I agree.
like 90% of the programmers
Right.
or AI software engineers are white male.
Correct.
White Christian male.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
And so they are bringing their experiences and their biases into the programming environment. And it may be intentional, it may be unintentional. You know what I mean? But it's still there. And so when you have a system that's controlled and by, white male dominant society, it's like there's nobody you can complain to.
Let me
There's
go a
nothing
little
normal
bit
for them.
further on my question then is if we don't stop it now or get it corrected now, are we going to get too far down the line to be able to make sure that we do get it corrected? Because I'm taking the attitude, first of all, let me say I believe that what you're saying is absolutely correct. Everything that both of you have said. However, when you look at, I've got another friend who's an author, and they've been going through trying to use AI for voiceovers. There's no black voiceovers. There's no people for black to be able to use the black voiceovers.
Right.
And every time a black person tries to use AI, we are confronted with not being able to use AI the way that our white counterparts are able to use AI
Right.
because of those biases that you talk about.
Right, absolutely. Even initially, at the early onset of AI, when they were talking about, generative AI and models that were used, they were all using white models. AI has a problem with getting black skin correct, particularly darker skin. So, even if you go something as simple as Amazon, where you want to do an audiobook, there's no black voices, even on a platform like Amazon, that can make the book more relatable, you know what I mean? Or more relatable, even if it's a children's book. And there's no platforms on there that can make it even more relatable. So yeah, we're seeing the effects of it. This lack of diversity in programming. You know what I mean? And so that's being detrimental. So we can take a quick break and come back and talk some more about it.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds like good idea. And we'll be right back.